A lot of us miss traveling right now and all the excitement that comes with it, but would you want to get on a flight to nowhere? Bloomberg's Adrian Wong tries it out for us.
Oh, this is exciting. First time on a plane in 10 months. I'm at Hong Kong International Airport, about to check in into my flight. Destination? Nowhere. The global aviation and tourism industry has been hit pretty hard by the coronavirus pandemic. So some airlines are now offering the concept of flights to nowhere in an attempt to attract people who just miss traveling. HK Express is the budget carrier of Cathay Pacific, and in the first of the year, they posted a net loss of about 100 million US dollars. So they're the latest airline to introduce these flights to nowhere, which will be a 90-minute flight circling around Hong Kong. One ticket will cost 388 Hong Kong dollars, so that's about 50 US dollars. So the whole plane is playing a game of bingo. Everyone seems pretty excited except for me because I still haven't won anything. This is an A320neo aircraft, but when the flights become available to the public, it could also be an A320 plane, which has a total capacity of 180 seats. But to maintain social distancing, it won't be a full flight, and passengers all have to wear face masks. I just landed back here in Hong Kong, and because we didn't travel internationally, we don't need to do a COVID test or go into quarantine. Safe travels.
Joining me now to talk more about what airlines are up to these days is Katrina Nicholas, Bloomberg's transport editor based in Singapore. Katrina, we just saw that flight to nowhere. Are there other airlines doing similar things?
Yes, for sure there are. I mean, Singapore Airlines has done a few pop-up dinners on some of its A380 planes. They've been extremely popular. Tickets have sold out very, very fast, and so much so that the airline actually had to release new dates. They're also doing some behind-the-scenes tours, and airlines have been doing flights to nowhere as well. And then there have been kind of smaller gestures away from flying. Qantas, for example, has been selling off its first-class pajamas and the amenity kits and even the old 747 bar carts, which are a real collector's item. They've been very quickly snapped up. And so, you know, all these sort of different gimmicks, some would say, that airlines are doing to make a little bit of extra money. That's certainly happening.
And how much of a help is this to airlines, really? I mean, these ideas, some of them sound really fun, but are they making any money?
You're right. I mean, some people would refer to them as a little bit gimmicky, and certainly they do make some money, but in the broader scheme of things, in terms of the revenue that airlines globally are losing at the moment, it is really at the fringes. One bright spot that we have seen airlines is cargo. We're all sort of, sitting at home for a lot of the time, and so online shopping has gone through the roof. People are buying things like software and hardware and home appliances and home furnishings, and airlines have really risen to the challenge in that regard. Some of them have even been converting their passenger planes. And of course, the pandemic itself means that airlines have been roped in to fly a lot of the medical equipment that's been needed around the world. So cargo is certainly one area that airlines are making some money from. But again, the amount that they've lost from people not flying is very, very deep, and a lot of airlines are facing bankruptcy or court-ordered restructurings. IATA estimates that about $84 billion will be lost in the industry this year.
So the big question now, can airlines survive the pandemic? What's your take?
Well, I think that's a question that, every airline executive is asking. IATA estimated last month that airlines, on average, have about 8.5 months of cash left before they run out of money. That's not a long time, particularly as you're seeing second waves of the virus happen in Europe and the US. I think there's still probably government funding that needs to come into place. Airlines are definitely looking at raising capital by selling shares or getting private equity investors in. I do think that probably what we need to see is a vaccine that's safe and available and widely distributed before people get back on planes and passengers start spending again and airlines start making money.
While we have you on, can you talk us through a little bit about 2021 travel predictions? Will we be able to fly safely? Will ticket prices be a reasonable price? Talk us through 2021.
Well, I think we all want to get back on planes, that's for sure. I think it does depend on a vaccine. And, you know, I also think that when travel does start coming back, it'll probably be the leisure market that we see come back first. I think what this experience has shown us all, we've pretty much spent 12 months, you know, coming up to 12 months at least working from home. People have found that they can do that very effectively. You don't have to get on a plane to go to a business meeting. You can do things very effectively over Zoom and Skype. And so I do think the leisure market will come back first. Now, you know, if you're talking about the economics of flying, it's often the pointy end of the plane that pays for the rest of the plane. So people spending up big in business and first class. Whether people will be willing to pay that sort of money to subsidise the economy cabin, I think that remains to be seen. And then I think the other sort of overriding factor that you have in some people is just a wariness about flying. Obviously, you're around a lot of people in a plane for a long time in a confined space, going through an airport. There's lots of people, lots of touch points, and you know, people are still worried about the virus. And so I think there's a certain sector of the population that's going to have to overcome those fears as well.
Katrina Nicholas, Bloomberg's transport editor based in Singapore. I'm Karumi Mori, and you're watching Bloomberg Quick Take.